Every year, thousands of Americans say they're moving to Canada. But how many actually do it, and how many stay once they realize life up north isn't quite the Instagram fantasy? Today we're breaking down what life in Canada really looks like, from cost of living and visas to the things you'll wish someone told you before you packed a single box. If you've ever thought about leaving the US, Canada might have been your first thought. It's close, English-speaking, politically calmer, and seems to promise that polite, peaceful life we all crave after a few too many headlines back home. But the truth is more complicated. Canada has incredible upsides: safety, universal healthcare, a cleaner environment. Yet for many Americans, the shock comes later in the prices, the job market, the bureaucracy, and the weather that makes you miss even a bad day in California. Let's get into what's real: the benefits, the costs, and the visa paths if you're serious about making the move. The biggest reason Americans move to Canada is quality of life. Canada consistently ranks among the safest and most livable countries in the world. Violent crime rates are much lower than in the US, and Canadians generally trust their institutions a lot more than Americans do. Healthcare is universal, which means no surprise $10,000 emergency room bills. The cities are clean, public parks are everywhere, and the air quality alone can feel like a luxury. Education is another draw. Universities like Toronto, McGill, and British Columbia offer world-class degrees at lower prices than comparable US schools. Families also love Canada's approach to community. It's quieter, less polarized, and people actually slow down enough to have neighbors. Now, the part nobody tells you: Canada isn't cheap. In some ways, it can actually be more expensive than the US, depending on where you go. Toronto and Vancouver are among the most expensive cities in North America. Rent, food, and gas are high, and so are taxes. Let's break it down. Rent. In Vancouver, a one-bedroom downtown averages around $2,400 USD a month. Smaller cities like Halifax or Winnipeg drop closer to $1,201,500. Groceries. You'll spend about 10–20 more than in the States, mostly due to import costs. Healthcare. It's public, but not free. You pay through taxes, and dental, vision, and prescriptions often aren't covered. Utilities and internet. Expect higher costs, especially in cold provinces where heating can spike your winter bill. So yes, Canada can save you money in healthcare and safety, but day-to-day life can still add up fast, especially if you're used to low-cost states or rural living in the US. For retirees, Canada's healthcare system and safety make it appealing, but it's not as retiree-friendly as places like Mexico or Portugal. Unless you have Canadian residency, you can't just move there and access public healthcare. You'll need private insurance and a reliable income stream like US Social Security or a pension. For students, Canada's education system is one of the best in the world. International students can study for roughly $20,030 USD per year, depending on the program, for less than most US private colleges. Graduates also get the chance to stay and work under the post-graduation work permit program, which can lead to permanent residency later. For digital nomads and remote workers, this is where things get tricky. Canada doesn't yet have an official digital nomad visa, though they've announced plans to create one. For now, remote workers usually enter on visitor status up to 6 months or through a work permit if they have a Canadian employer. That said, cities like Montreal and Calgary have great internet infrastructure, co-working spaces, and vibrant creative scenes, perfect for freelancers who want stability without chaos. Canada's immigration system is one of the most structured in the world, which is both good and bad. It's transparent, but also competitive. Main options include express entry for skilled workers with degrees and job experience, points-based, fast, but selective. Provincial nominee programs. Each province recruits workers in high-demand fields: nurses, tradespeople, tech professionals. Family sponsorship, if you have close relatives who are citizens or permanent residents. Study permits, often the easiest route to permanent residency if you're under 40 and willing to enroll. Business investor visas, for entrepreneurs and investors who can create jobs in Canada. In most cases, Americans can visit for up to 6 months without a visa, but you can't legally work without the proper permit. The good news? Canada generally welcomes skilled immigrants, and English fluency gives you a huge advantage. Now for the part that polite Canadians won't always mention: housing. The affordability crisis is real. You'll compete with locals for limited housing. Weather. Winter isn't a season, it's a personality test. Expect 5 months of snow in most provinces. Healthcare wait times. While you won't get surprise bills, you might wait weeks or months for non-urgent care. Bureaucracy. Immigration paperwork can drag on for over a year. Taxes. Federal and provincial taxes combined can hit 30-40, depending on income. Canada is amazing, but it's not America 2.0. It's colder, slower, and sometimes harder to break into socially. Yet, for many, that trade-off, safety and sanity over chaos and cost, is worth it. So, is Canada really better? It depends on what you're escaping and what you're chasing. If you want safety, healthcare, and structure, yes, it delivers. If you want freedom, warmth, and low costs, keep watching this channel because your answer might be further south. Next up, we'll look at Mexico, where life costs less, the food tastes better, and the paperwork is a little friendlier than you'd think.